Realization of what it truly means to have joy in life, regardless of what is going on in it, the situation, the jobs, the ups and downs. Never could have imagined that I would get to a state where joy just becomes my default. From someone who almost committed suicide twice, and then a third time almost got checked out of my life subscription unwillingly, but it was done by my own hand, and that was working myself to the point of death. So technically, that's why I count it as three. The first two almost did it myself. Third time also did it to myself, but it was due to self-infliction of overworking, of doing stuff that didn't bring me joy, that was sucking my energy out, that I was carrying a weight I didn't even realize I was carrying, of needing to make sure I was always on, to make sure that I was the only one that I could depend on, to be hyper independent, to make sure that I was taken care of, that my needs were being met, that my wants were being met, that I had safety and security, and that I had a whole plan of how to accomplish that. And seeing that had almost led to my destruction, not once, not twice, three times. And now being in a state where, regardless of what's going on, I still consider it all joy. I never understood that James chapter 1 verse for a while, because it's like, how can you consider it all joy when you fall into trials and tribulations? And being forced to rest, to sit down because of all the chronic illnesses, of everything that was building up, that was leading to burnout, that was leading to my destruction. I actually had time to be able to sit and reflect back on my life and where it had gotten me. How did I even get here? To this point of coming to a realization, it was just a hamster wheel that no matter how much force you put into it, no matter how fast you run, that you're not going anywhere. And I didn't want to do that anymore, I realized. I didn't want to be on other people's plans. I didn't want to be on other people's validations. I didn't want or need those anymore. Because I started seeing, especially during the pandemic, losing people and seeing lives filled with regret leaving this moral coral and not having accomplished what they had dreamed or what they were aiming for. And I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to get to the end of my timeline and find out that I did not go out and do more, that I didn't go out and work something with all my might that brought me joy, that brought me energy, that I would want to wake up every day to do. And it's crazy because I'm a night owl. Like, example, today, I woke up at 7:30 in the morning. That does not really happen too often. But here during this season, I just feel so well rested and so energized with the work I'm doing with others, with the community I'm building, and writing my book and getting it self-published, that I'm lost for words on it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the Most High slowing me down. I'm grateful for Him having given me the chronic illness. Like I said, it's like finding out that line of consider it all joy as you fall in the trials and tribulations, because that caused me to have to pause, and I didn't want to. I wanted to keep going, going, going on that hamster wheel, thinking I was going to get somewhere. That pause caused me to sit down. It caused me to look back on all my years of HR work, all my years of military work, all my years of working for profit, nonprofit, corporate, public and private sector, and then coming to the realization, I just built something on a foundation of sand. And I didn't want it anymore. So I started down on the path of, I want to be able to live a life of no regrets. As I said, I have lost, of course, many people in my life because I do have friends that are in the older brackets and who are elders and everything. And if you listen to my last video, you heard about the sign that the Most High gave me about, hey, you're leaving your career, all of it behind. And I did. I left all of it behind, and all my certifications that had to be re-upped all expired to the point where it's not even there anymore. And I did that because my uncle, who was in the ICU, and he stayed there for 6 months. He was the one that eventually did pass on later on that year. If I hadn't taken that time off, I would not have been able to spend as much time with him as I did. I saw him at least multiple times a week, visited with him, talked with him, even was there when he was having a few episodes with his health and helping him through those. And I give praise to the Most High for showing me that, hey, whatever time you have left, use it to its utmost. And I made sure of that. And I remember that the last time I saw him was literally 2 days after his birthday. I didn't go exactly on his birthday because I knew there was going to be a lot of people visiting. So I was like, let me let, of course, all the immediate family and all the really close friends be able to see him. And I'll see him like 2 days later. So I did. I saw him on the 17th of July last year. Brought him a card. Was able to talk with him. The doctor was there. His nurse was there as well, getting him cleaned up and everything. And I was having a talk with him. And I gave him his birthday card. And too many times we do not give people their flowers before they're gone. And at that moment, I gave him his flowers. I told him, thank you for his mentorship. Thank you for showing me how a man is supposed to treat a woman, because he showed me about opening doors, about no, chivalry is not dead. It's like, no, women need to walk on the inside of the road while the men's on the outside towards the cars. And I didn't really have that when growing up. I didn't have that sense of respect given from the opposite sex until him and my stepdad. I'll probably make another video of that later. Those two, my stepdads passed on years prior to this, but both of them were great male role models in my life that showed me, oh, okay, there is hope here of a relationship. So I gave it all to him. Hey, you taught me how to be able to defend myself. You encouraged me to go in the military. I did so well there because of you. Yes, eventually ended up crashing and burning at the end. That needed to happen. And I told him that. And I told him I didn't want to leave until I received a blessing from him. And this is something that we don't talk about too much in the West. I know a lot of other cultures actually do still believe in this. And it's actually based in the scriptures that everybody has a gifting that they have been blessed with by the Most High. And the thing about it is, with this gifting, you can't take it with you. You're leaving this plane of existence to go into a different one. So you can't take it with you. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to bless the next generation with that gift, to bless them with it. And I asked him, can you give me your blessing? And he ended up saying the most wonderful prayer over me for his blessing. And we both started crying because he was really honored by it, because he didn't think he had that much of an influence on my life. And I didn't realize how much of an influence I had in his, of him just being there and developing this relationship, I didn't know that was going to be the last time I saw him alive. Because literally, on my birthday, I got a phone call that he had passed that morning. So I knew he wouldn't want me to be sad, especially since it was my birthday. And he would want me to still celebrate it in some way. So I now understood what Solomon said of being in the mourning house, and you gain a lot more knowledge and wisdom through there. That's in Ecclesiastes. That's not the verbatim, that's just a summary of it. But I spent my birthday going back over the memories of spending with him and how much joy and happiness that brought me, how much he encouraged me, how much he had shown me. And even during that interaction, I even told him that he was one of the reasons why I actually ended up with my husband now that I'm currently with. They acted almost exactly alike. Same thing with my stepdad. I'm like, did I really just marry my stepdad and my uncle? Like I said, I'm going to make a video of that separately. Like I said, I at one point I didn't believe in love. I didn't trust anyone, and that was a journey of itself. So I will probably do that eventually here. And the thing about it is, about a week or so later, we did hold his funeral. And yes, I cried a little bit, but I was smiling. I was happy I got to spend all that time with him. I was happy I was able to tell him and give him his flowers while he was still here. I know he wanted to stay here. I know he was not ready to go yet. That he felt like there was a lot more that he needed to do, that there was a lot more people who still needed him. And during that time, I even told him during one of our visits, it's okay to go. Everyone will be fine. You have done a wonderful job taking care of everyone. And thinking more about how time is long, but it's also short. What is that saying? That the days are long, but the years are short. It literally felt like that. And I was thinking, if I was back on that hamster wheel of like working in corporate, of being tied down on a job and not having my freedom, I would not have been able to spend as much time as I did with him. There would have been no way I would be able to just randomly, while I'm going grocery shopping and I'm near the hospital he's at, I'm like, oh, let me go visit with him first before I go grocery shopping. Or if I ended up having one of my appointments that was nearby, I would go to that appointment, then afterward I would go visit with him. I wouldn't have been able to do that with a regular job. Having freedom and being able to build a life that I don't want to retire from, that grows with me, that evolves with me, that elevates with me. I didn't realize how freeing and energized that makes you. And that's all thanks to the Most High. He, like I said, he has been sustaining me on this. As I was saying in my previous video, for some reason, when it comes to business stuff, it does not work the same way with me as with other people, where they're like, hey, if you do these like 1, 2, 3 steps, it'll work out. And for some reason, it doesn't work that way. It usually ends up being a bit backwards. But like I said, the Most High, his way is the correct way. And his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So he has a plan. He has a reasoning of why, hey, that's how the world works. This is not how my way works. My way is going to work. Just give it time. Don't go weary in doing good, because you will eventually reap a harvest. Galatians 6:9. Also, too, going back to James chapter 1, let patience have her perfect work. I did not even understand that until I was like, oh, I now see, because the Fataya that's here today is not the same Fataya that was back in February of 2025, taking that leap of faith of walking out onto the water towards Yahusha and being like, okay, I'm betting on you. I'm not betting on the world anymore. I'm not carrying this weight that I don't need to carry anymore. And Words cannot even encompass everything I have encountered in the past year and a half of doing this journey of my health, of my energy, of being able to spend more time with my husband, spend time with my dogs, friends, building my husband's business as well, which is really gaining traction now. Woohoo! Give praise to the Most High for that. He's kind of shocked by it too, like, wait, what? And then me just coming out here and talking more about my testimony and trying to help others that, hey, you do not have to keep being on the hamster wheel. You do not need to be burning yourself out. You do not have to keep carrying weight that is trying to crush you. Even Yahusha says that his burden is light. And I did not understand that until I left all that behind and started walking down on this path of how light it could be. How even during this year and a half, I got, what was it, another diagnosis, another health one that came up. And the past me would have been crying like, okay, here's another one on the list of ailments I gotta deal with and live with and da 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 da. Instead, when the doctor told me about what ended up occurring, I was like, okay, just add it to the list and everything, and what do I need to do? And that led me to doing actually red light therapy, which is amazing. I do recommend it. Nope, not sponsored. Red light therapy is awesome, you guys. But even the doctor looked at me like, wait a second. Cause my, I was in between primaries during this time. So I had my old one retired. He was a great doctor. And I was still being assigned a new one. So I actually had a nurse practitioner who was just taking me in to get this. And she was completely shocked, like, wait, you're okay with this? And she was looking at my records. So she saw like all the stuff that was there and was like, I'm adding this to your list. And I'm like, yeah, and I consider it all joy. I actually started giving the Most High praise for that. Even when I got back home and I had a few friends that were over and they were like wondering like, hey, are you okay? And I told them, yeah, another one got added to it. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, don't be sorry about it. I'm like, I'm fine with it. And they're like, what? You're fine with getting another one? I'm like, yeah, life is good. As I said, Pastor Tay would not have been that way. She would have been crying, wondering like, what? Why Karen Pate is like, hey, Most High's gotten me this far. I'm going to keep going. And I see it as reminders that, hey, there's still consequences to what you did in the past. And yes, they'll keep showing up, even if you end up changing your trajectory and your path that you're going down. And using this time to regain my voice, regain my identity, because a lot of times we end up actually losing ourselves under other people's expectations, other people's validations, or the standards of what the world thinks is supposed to be success. And going back to, literally it's going back to healing your inner child, becoming the person that your childlike self would run to, be like, hey, I want to be like you. It's like, and getting back to the joys that I had as a child of, I actually thought I was a shy person, but then of course with journaling, with doing all the inner work during all these years of seeing therapists, wellness coaches, spiritual leaders, geez, so many. I had so many. It was work. But going back and realizing, hey, I wasn't shy. I ended up enjoying talking, but having my voice bound is the best way I can say it. Where I didn't even realize that when I would be talking to my husband, I'd be like raising my voice higher and higher. And it wasn't like we were getting an argument or anything. It's like, he would say, "Hey, I'm right here. You don't have to get really loud." And because it was a different type of loud. It wasn't a loud of like a loud of excitement or something that I was really passionate about. Because when it's those type of louds, he's fine with it. This was a type of loud that, are you even hearing me? Are you even listening to me? And myself continually repeating myself, and him having to tell me, I'm listening to you. You don't got to repeat yourself. When there's a pause, that doesn't mean I'm mad at you. It means I'm processing what you just told me before I give you an answer. And here's me being shocked and taken aback, thinking, wait, that's normal. That's supposed to be normal communication. And it made me realize how many times I was not being heard by others. And that wasn't just in my childhood, that was also when I was in my career and having to always explain myself, always having to make sure I'm 10 steps ahead of whatever someone was going to ask me because they were going to do their best to undermine me. But now we're at this point. We're at this point where I enjoy what I do. I consider it all joy. And I'm not going back. So, this is to this new chapter. This is to this new arc. This is to the me that I have refound, and we're going forward. So, feel free to join me. Feel free to join my community. Link will be in the notes below. And everyone, stay blessed. Whew, that was a good one. Oh, I'm going to have to charge my camera. I guess I barely made it.